Welcome, Alistair Cockburn, to Last Conference. Glad to have you here today.
Hello, everybody watching this.
How are you,
We've got a couple of questions for you. Yeah, Phil.
Yes, we have a couple of questions. So I guess the lead-in for me is recently you wrote an article clarifying that for you, Agile is not dead. You want to tell us why you think Agile is not dead?
Yeah, it's not a matter of what's for me or not for me. The short answer was what, like 9 billion people on the face of the planet, and there's like 1 million workers inside of there. And I ran through the numbers. It's in the article. But if you just look at knowledge workers in the U.S., it's over 100 million people. Similar in Europe. There's more in India. There's more in Latin America. So we're talking about maybe total around the world, 500 million people who are doing things that we would call knowledge work. You look at the penetration in Agile, and a lot of people discuss this, the Moore's curve. It's actually Everett Rogers' curve, diffusion of innovation, and Moore put a little slice. They're saying it's hard to get out of the early adopters into the early majority. And people feel like it's dead because we're in the late majority now. If I could just spend a split second on that, the early adopters got this like 2005, 2008, they were done. In 2009, I gave a eulogy to Agile saying I came to bury it, but not because it was dead, but because it had hit an inflection point and was being picked up in projects that were fundamentally different than it was invented for in the 90s. Now that was 10 years ago in 2009. That was an inflection point, right? So it jumped up, and all the people who were early adopters, yeah, they've moved on. They did lean, they're doing agile project management. They're doing hypothesis development. They're cooking and moving, right? So now somebody says, let's do agile. They go, what? What? Is that still around? What? That was like in my thoughts 10 years ago. So they feel like it's passé just because they're looking at new stuff. But if we look at the people in the early majority, they're still trying to digest this thing that they picked up like 6 or 8 years ago. And the late majority is just looking at it and going, oh my goodness, what is this going to do to my life? But here's the point. So that's why people feel like it's dead. They look at the weak adoption in the big conservative companies, and they look at the people who've moved on. But that's not why it's not dead. Why it's not dead is when you look at that entire curve, fits in less than 1 to 2% of the total working population. So I mapped the late majority in the curves we are looking at doesn't even hit the early adopters of the global population curve. So what that means is we haven't even begun the curve yet. We've done 1 million, 2 million people, maybe, right? We've got 200 million people to go. So I'm sorry, we've done 2 million. We have 198 million people still to go, right? And those people are going to be more conservative, more careful in the adoption like that. But we're just beginning the curve. So that's why it's not dead.
That's it, not even that early majority, and late majority still yet to go. All right, thank you. Thanks.
What you got else?
That's excellent. So building on that, why the heart of Agile? And how does that interconnect with Agile's not dead?
Good deal. So to answer this, I'm going to go just back to the beginning. So what's Agile and why do we care? What's heart of Agile and what problem does it solve? What's Agile? I'll just use the dictionary definition, and that means able to move quickly and with ease in particular changing directions. We don't need more than that. So agility has to do with moving quickly with ease, changing directions. That's Agile. That's Agile or agility. Why do we care? I have a one-word answer for you, and that's VUCA. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. That's the world today. So Agile is about steering the results, because in a VUCA world, you can't plan the result. The world will not sit still. It will not behave as you think. It might be we do our best planning using classical techniques, whatever. The moment we start, the world's changing under us. We have to steer. So Agile is about steering to a desired outcome or desired effect in the world. So that's Agile. What's heart of Agile? Heart of Agile is a simpler and more powerful way to become agile or to gain this agility. And I say simpler, only 4 words: collaborate, collaborate, deliver, reflect, improve. Those 4 words. It's simpler because it's those 4 words. It's more powerful because those words don't indicate what domain you're in. They don't tell you what to do. It's not a framework. It's a focusing tool. It's a reminder. These are 4 important things. The world is complex. Your life is busy. Just look at this and decide which of these you want to focus on now. Now, what problem does the Heart of Agile solve? All of the frameworks for becoming agile or adopting agility are complex. They're expensive. They're full of procedures and processes. It's too hard to become agile using those. The problem the Heart of Agile solves is just to make it simpler to get there. That's it. So that's what is Agile, why do we care, what's the Heart of Agile, and what problem does it solve?
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Alistair Cockburn. And with that, we'll let you go.
Thank you very much. Best of wishes to everybody.